Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes on this Monday, the 20th of November. And as we head into and through Thanksgiving week, we'll have the complete outlook, and we'll also be looking at the long range tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, and that's at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to tune in. We've got a busy couple of days ahead of us weather-wise, which is kind of in contrast to where we've been lately, which has been fairly quiet. First off, the weather in the east today is fairly nice, except when you get down into the interior southeast where we're starting to see some clouds. High pressure is wedging down the eastern seaboard, so that'll keep the northeast and mid-Atlantic states in good shape today, although on the chilly side, certainly, as eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England will probably not have highs today much out of the low and middle 40s. Further south you go, might get a little higher. But you see the rotation that is back in Kansas, and the clouds that are bursting on the satellite, the higher and brighter, the brighter white cloud tops, the higher cloud tops, indicating some convective development. And we also have rain that is moving up in through the Ohio Valley and the lower Great Lakes. This is going to be a busy, severe weather day, and that's another thing we haven't seen in a while. The radars in the east are quiet, but you notice it's fairly loaded back across the Ohio Valley now down into the middle Mississippi Valley. You can see the twist on the satellite and the rotation in southern Kansas with the upper air feature as well as the developing surface low. And there's a trailing cold front, and that is going to set off severe weather today. The Storm Prediction Center has an enhanced risk of severe weather in parts of East Texas, across northern Louisiana, and into Mississippi. This is a little strong for this time of year, certainly, and there's a 10% tornado risk that has been being indicated inside that enhanced area, and a 5% tornado risk that surrounds that, and then the 2% surrounds that. So if you're traveling to that part of the country today, you're going to probably experience delays, especially if you're traveling late today and into tonight as thunderstorms move through. And the severe weather risk areas are going to shift eastward tomorrow into the eastern Gulf states, not quite as robust as today. We have a slight risk in a small area in the westernmost Florida Panhandle and southern Alabama. Marginal risk that extends all the way up into North Carolina, and general thunderstorm risk up into Virginia and the southern portion of the Delmarva Peninsula. And as we take a look at day 3, and this would be Wednesday into Thursday, which is the heaviest travel day, thunderstorms are going to be confined to the immediate coastal areas of the Carolinas and into northern Florida. The rainfall forecast, now this is for the next 5 days. So this will take us through next Saturday morning. So what we're seeing here is just the one weather event, and I'm just going to make it a little bigger so everybody can see. And the rainfalls are going to be robust all the way down into the Gulf states. The heaviest rains in central and western Virginia, except the Panhandle, western North Carolina, northwestern South Carolina, and northern Georgia. There's an area of 2 to as much as 2.5 inches of rain being indicated there. The purple areas that you see, we're talking about an inch and a half plus. And this comes for tomorrow into Tuesday into Wednesday morning. 1.5 inch plus amounts also in parts of the Gulf states, which is great news for this area because, trust me, it is the drought is really just burned up just about everything. Lighter precip up in the Rockies and also up in the Northwest. We do have some snow issues to look at in the interior Northeast, northern New England, northeastern parts of northeastern New York, and on up into interior Maine. There is a high probability of at least 2 inches of snow from this system Tuesday into Wednesday. Actually, this forecast covers the period right into Thanksgiving morning. And also, we're seeing high probabilities of 50% or higher for at least 4 inches from central and northeastern New Hampshire all the way up through the interior part of Maine. Doesn't mean it rains. Doesn't mean it snows for 3 days. This will be for later Tuesday night into Wednesday, and maybe even some leftover stuff Wednesday night into Thursday morning up in interior New England. So we'll take a look at how the models are carrying things out. We've got this big high that's north of Lake Superior, and that's filtering down low-level chilly air down the eastern seaboard, and that's wedging into the Appalachians. Here's your low that comes out to the east and then turns northward by this evening, and tonight it's in southern Illinois. This is the severe weather trigger that we're going to see for the central Gulf states. But again, no problems in the east. Will probably be clear through part of tonight, start to cloud up tomorrow morning, and tomorrow will be a chilly, raw day. The low in northern Indiana starts to move northeastward. Rain arrives Tuesday afternoon. Spreads across the Northeast. You see where the snow is up in northeastern New York and into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Heavy rain Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Now, after that, the weather is going to get better to the extent that we're not going to be dealing with rain. There might be some leftover rain from Virginia down to North Florida, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms there. But the problem will be the wind, which will start to pick up Wednesday night into Thursday morning as a second low forms offshore and tightens the pressure gradient. So just bear that in mind if you're traveling late for Thanksgiving. There might be some wind issues early Thursday morning in the Northeast, but the weather will be dry. It'll be I hesitate to say chilly, so let's call it seasonal for this time of year. There's not a whole lot of cold air behind this low, but it will be dry Thursday and Friday. And for Saturday, the next chance for any rain may come late Sunday. We've got another front swinging in from the west and some moisture that's coming up from the south, and we'll still have to see how this plays out, and we'll be watching to see how that system evolves over the next couple of days. So we'll give you full coverage tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. That's at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time.